Good morning everyone. Welcome to the fifth lecture of English literature. Today we will read third chapter of Moby Dick. Before starting off with the third chapter, let's recall the previous one. In the previous chapter we read that Ishmael chose Pequod for the whaling journey, and together both Queequeg and Ishmael boarded the ship on the Christmas morning, and the famous journey starts off. Let's start chapter 3. It had been a week since Pequod sailed off, and Ishmael, who only knew Queequeg before, now got familiar to all the crew members of the Pequod. Pequod had many whale boats, and it was decided by Captain Ahab that each whale boat would have a mate, a harpooner, and 4 oarsmen. Mate is actually the captain of the boat. Harpooner, all of you must be knowing it, and oarsmen are actually the people who row the boat. Here in this picture you can see how the whale boat looks like. In this chapter many new characters are introduced. The first one is STARBUCK. It was decided by Captain Ahab that STARBUCK would be the first mate of the Pequod. Apparently he was a tall thin man of 30 years old and was from Nantucket. It was decided by Captain Ahab that Queequeg would be accompanying STARBUCK on this trip as a harpooner. Here I would like to share a fun fact that is associated with the famous coffee brand Starbucks. Starbucks actually is the logo of this famous coffee brand, which is taken from the novel Moby Dick. This famous coffee company started back in 1971, and they chose the name Pequod from the novel Moby Dick. But later on they felt that this name was not befitting for the coffee brand, so they decided to select the name STARBUCK from the novel, and this is how this famous coffee brand got this name Starbucks. I hope this is the beautiful addition to your encyclopedia. Let's get back to the chapter. Okay, so the other new characters which were introduced in this chapter are STUBB and TASHTEGO. STUBB became the second mate of the Pequod, and it was decided that TASHTEGO would accompany him as a harpooner. STUBB was a friendly and easygoing person, and he spent most of his time puffing on his pipe. TASHTEGO was extremely tall man, and he belonged to Africa. He used to wear these huge gold hoop earrings all the time. The third mate was FLASK. FLASK was decided to be the third mate of the Pequod by Captain Ahab. He was a short and stout. Stout it means bulky and fat. DAGGOO became the harpooner of the FLASK's whale boat. And DAGGOO was very tall, and he belonged to Africa. After several days, Captain Ahab made his first appearance on the quarter deck of the ship. I told you that the deck of the ship is actually the upper part of the ship, which is open, and quarter deck is just below the upper part of the ship or upper deck of the ship, which is called quarter deck. So Captain Ahab came to the quarter deck, and he summoned all the crew members of the Pequod, and he addressed them. He talked to them about the real purpose or real reason of this whaling journey. He told them that the real reason behind this journey is not to collect the blubber of the whales, but actually it is to take revenge on the Moby Dick. Many crew members got furious, and they asked Captain Ahab not to do this. According to STARBUCK, this was something which was not fair to an animal. Why? Because according to him, he said that this is the animal's instinct that if you attack animal, in response he would attack in order to defend himself or in order to defend herself. But Captain Ahab did not listen to them, and he said that because of Moby Dick he suffered a lot and he would definitely take revenge on him. He not only said this, he also showed a golden doubloon to the crew members, and he told them that the one who would see the Moby Dick first would get this doubloon from me. He nailed this doubloon to the mast and promised to give this to the one who would see the white whale first. Mast is actually the pillar of the ship. On this, the crew members got happy and they cheered. And when Captain Ahab went back to his cabin, all the crew members started talking about Moby Dick and how Moby Dick attacked Captain Ahab and how Captain Ahab got injured and all that. So when Ishmael came to know all about the attack of Moby Dick on Captain Ahab, he felt so sorry for Captain Ahab and he decided to help Captain Ahab with the hunting of Moby Dick. It was told to him that actually Moby Dick was attacked by Captain Ahab with a knife, and in response Captain Moby Dick crunched Captain Ahab's leg with his scissor sharp teeth. And after that, what happened? Captain Ahab had to spend many days in his hammock in pain and suffering, and this is during that time that he decided to take revenge on Moby Dick. Hammock is actually a hanging bed which is made up of net. So Ishmael decided to help Captain Ahab out with this. We are done with the chapter. Now we'll do the meanings of difficult words. First word is call out. Call out is to speak in loud voice. Unison is if two or more people are doing the same thing together at the same time is called unison. Crooked is something which is not straight, which is bent. Muttered is when you utter words in a low tone or when you make a low sound. Hammock, I told you, is a hanging bed which is made up of net. Lapping is to enfold or enwrap something. Mast, I told you about, is the pillar, is the upright pole or pillar that supports its sails. Next is mate. Mate is the one who captains the whaleboat. Oarman, a person who rows a boat or who makes a boat move. Stout is a fat person, a bulky or chubby person. Admiration is a feeling of great liking and respect towards someone. Privileged. When you say that you are privileged, it means that you are having advantages, opportunities, luxuries that most other people don't have. Crow's nest is actually a small platform on the upper part of the mast of the ship where a person can go to look around in different direction in the sea. Okay, so we are done with the difficult words meaning and the whole of the chapter 3. Okay, so stay safe and stay healthy. Take care. Thank you.